He reaches for the second cup without looking at it. Is already there. Is always there. 2 cups sit on the table. Close enough to touch. Far enough apart to mean something. Steam rises from one. The other remains empty. He adjusts them slightly. Not to fix anything. Just to make the distance even. The room is quiet in the way a room becomes quiet after being quiet for a long time. No tension in it. No expectation. Just air resting where it is. He sits down slowly. Both hands on the table for a moment before pulling one back. The filled cup is closer to him. The empty one stays where it has always stayed. He does this every morning. Water. Heat. Waiting. Pouring. The sound of liquid meeting ceramic is small. Almost private. It does not echo. It does not linger. He watches the steam rise. Thin and steady. It curls upward and disappears without resistance. The second cup remains untouched. He does not look at it directly. Not yet. His chair makes the same faint sound against the floor as it did yesterday. The same small shift of weight. The same pause before lifting the cup. He brings the warm rim to his lips. Across from him, the empty cup holds nothing but space. He sets his cup down carefully, aligning it with the grain of the table. The other one remains slightly turned, its handle angled outward, as if prepared for a hand that has not arrived. He notices the angle. He does not change it. Outside, light moves slowly across the surface of the table. It reaches both cups equally. He waits a moment before taking the second sip. There is no reason to hurry. There has not been for a while. He wakes before the light changes. Not because he needs to, because he always has. The cups are washed the night before. Dried. Set upside down beside the sink. In the morning, he turns them over one at a time. First the one on the left, then the one on the right. He never switches them. Water runs. Stops. Runs again. The kettle rests on the same circle of the stove. He stands nearby, not watching it, but never leaving the room. When the water begins to hum, he lowers the flame slightly. It does not need to boil too hard. He pours in a 1 cup. Stops halfway. Pours the rest into the same cup. The other remains empty. He carries both to the table with steady hands. Places them down in their usual positions. The filled one near his side of the table. The empty one across from him, angled just slightly toward the chair opposite. The chair remains pushed in. He sits. Sometimes he rests both palms on the table before reaching for the warm cup. Sometimes he folds his hands and waits until the steam thins. There is no signal that tells him when to begin drinking. He simply does. The first sip is always careful. The second less so. He eats slowly, small pieces, measured movements. The sound of ceramic touching wood repeats each time he sets the cup down. He does not rush through it. After he finishes, he leaves both cups there for a while. The steam fades from one. The other was never warm. Light moves across the table again. It touches the rim of the empty cup, slides along the handle, leaves without marking anything. Eventually, he stands, carries both cups back to the sink, rinses them in the same order he turned them over that morning. He dries them with the same cloth, places them upside down again. They wait for tomorrow. He does not think of it as waiting. It is simply how the morning goes. Some mornings, he sets the second cup down a little closer to himself. Not enough to notice at first. Just a small shift. A quiet adjustment. The space between the two cups narrows by the width of a finger. He sees it. He does not correct it right away. The kettle hums the same as always. The water moves the same way when poured. Steam rises from only one cup, thin and temporary. He sits. His hand reaches for the filled cup, but pauses midway. His fingers hover near the empty one instead. Not touching, just near. The empty cup does not move. Its handle still angled outward, still ready in a way that has no urgency. He withdraws his hand and wraps it around the warm ceramic meant for him. Across the table, the other cup feels closer now. Not physically, just within his sight without turning his head. He drinks. The room remains unchanged. The chair across from him stays pushed in. The table holds both cups evenly under the light. But he leaves his cup down longer between sips. He listens to the quiet. There's a moment, brief and almost invisible, when his eyes rest fully on the empty cup. Not as a habit. Not by accident. He studies the rim, the shadow inside it, the stillness it holds. His fingers tap lightly against his own cup. Once. Then stop. He considers moving the empty one back to its usual place, restoring the small distance he has kept for so long. He does not. Instead, he shifts his own cup slightly away. The space returns. Not exactly as before. Close enough. He finishes drinking. When he stands, he picks up the filled cup first. The empty one second. For a second, he holds both in the same hand, stacked slightly against each other. The sound they make is soft. Ceramic touching ceramic. He separates them quickly. At the sink, he rinses them as he always does. But he sets them down to dry without checking their alignment. For the first time, The handles do not face the same direction. He notices. He leaves them that way. The next morning, he does not fix the handles. He notices them as he reaches for the cups. One turns slightly inward, the other angled away. He turns them over anyway. First the one on the left, then the one on the right. The order remains. Water runs. The kettle warms. The small routine unfolds without effort. It has settled into him the way breath settles into sleep. He pours into one cup, stops, watches the steam rise. The other cup waits on the counter. For a moment, he leaves it there. The filled cup rests alone in his hand as he walks to the table. He sets it down. The table looks larger with only one cup on it. The surface stretches farther than usual. The light spreads without interruption. He stands still. Then he walks back to the counter and brings the second cup. He places it across from him, not as carefully as before, not with ceremony, just where it usually goes. He sits. The steam thins slowly. He drinks at the same pace. The chair across from him remains pushed in, unchanged. He does not look at the empty cup right away. When he finally does, his gaze is softer, less measuring, is simply there. He finishes the tea and leaves both cups on the table longer than usual. The room holds them in quiet balance. After a while, he rises, carries them to the sink together, rinses them without thinking about which one comes first. He dries them, sets them upside down again. Their handles point in different directions. He turns off the light and leaves the room. Tomorrow, he will reach for 2 cups, and he will drink from one. Not every day needs meaning. Some days only need to exist. Quietly, without purpose, if you're listening in a calm moment. Nothing more is required.